to the fore is a biochemist who also happens to be associated with CGX. And I want to say thank you in advance to CGX for agreeing to sponsor the schools who are here in terms of their transportation reimbursement. Please let's welcome Professor Suresh.
Honorable Minister, distinguished members of the panel, friends, audience, it's great to be here again. And I want to start off by saying that these Tain and Turkeyen talks really are indicative of the kind of energy that Professor Ivan Griffith has been able to inject into university. This is what universities should do. They should engender discussion of a scholarly nature. They should allow the town and the gown to meet, so to speak. And this is in the true spirit of academic engagement, and my hat's off to you, sir. Well, it's very difficult, of course, to speak after so many people who have spoken on the same subject. And I'm very, very aware that I'm between you and hopefully there's some accompaniment to the local champagne I got, or else we'll be very upset. So I shall try to be brief. It's folly sometimes to relinquish a microphone to one who teaches for a living, as I do, because we tend not to want to give it back. But this is a very important subject. And I think as we pat ourselves on the back for having come into the fortune of being birthed in a country that has found oil, we also need to recognize, first and foremost, that this is a finite resource. Oil does not last forever. And when we are in the subject of nation building, and we are in the subject of ensuring that that patrimony lasts as long as possible and impacts as many people as possible, it behooves us, therefore, to have a conversation like this one that is a little bit more thoughtful. It also behooves us to realize that the oil and gas industry, per se, is not an industry that's going to automatically touch everyone. The production, the exploration of oil, the production of oil, the refining of oil, the marketing of oil, isn't going to touch all of the sectors of our economy. It, in many cases, in some formats, for example, the floating storage and production platform, many Guyanese may not even physically see what is happening because a lot of that oil will be pumped onto a floating vessel, and currently it would seem to suggest that they would then head to markets. So then, how it is that we as a people, as a government, can position ourselves not to make the same mistakes as many other places, like my good friend talked about with Mexico. At the very outset, I actually want to say that our Honorable Minister has been a minister only for 2 years. He is on an extremely steep kind of change. And he doesn't talk about this, but I will, because it's important. A tremendous amount of work has gone into creation of policy. A tremendous amount of work has gone into creation of legal frameworks. And I urge you, it is very important, in addition to coming to forums like these, to go to the ministry's website and look at that amount of work that has been done. In many ways, it's work which is going to guarantee to earn him criticism, simply by the fact that he's doing it. But if he doesn't do it, we're in trouble. So I really want to recognize the almost thankless job that Rafael Trotman has been doing. Now, Minister Trotman, Ms. Matai, and of course Ryan can claim Berbice hometown advantage. Myself and my Mexicano friend, well, I just came from the Rio Grande, very close to the Rio Grande as well, so I'm feeling more Mexican than anything else. However, I want to remind you that CGX, this tiny little company, several years ago actually invested in a deep water harbor right here in Yoruba Beach. And we've invested about $10 million in that facility and staged 2 world-class offshore exploration wells from that facility using Berbice labor, Berbice know-how, and Berbice willingness to roll up their sleeves. So I swear, I've got to be at least allowed to claim cousinship. Now, of course, the story is very well told. You look at the economies of some countries on, let's say, the African subcontinent, and I won't refer to particular countries because I think that's infamy, but some countries that have found oil and has up to 80-85% of their entire gross domestic product then result from the petroleum industry. Now, generally, unless part of that has gone into the creation of a value-added petrochemical industry, which does not, my friends, happen overnight, because the first thing that you need to realize is oil exploration costs a lot of money. One well can cost upwards of 150 million US dollars. So the oil companies, having found oil, very immediately wishes to monetize that oil. Part of that monetization doesn't mean waiting for local refining, local petrochemical and value-added industries to be established. And generally, of course, the countries themselves, like ours, are waiting anxiously to also have those revenues. So value-adding of petroleum assets takes time. So what happens immediately? Immediately, a country like ours, with a very puny GDP, comes into a windfall. And the tendency that has been followed by many countries is that we become renters. The technical word that's used is taking rent. We become renters, and you know what happens to renters? When the next person builds a nice house down the road, you lose your tenant. Or the property devalues. As in this case, the oil will dwindle. Now in 2015, a beautiful baby elephant called Liza came lumbering into our lives and brought wonderful gifts. But those gifts are wrapped in a Pandora's box of issues. And the issues are exactly this. Unless we are very careful to ensure that the other, and Ryan and Ms. Matai and Minister, of course, spoke about this and was eloquently concluded upon by my Mexican colleague, unless we are careful to invest those resources in the other nascent sectors of the economy so as to ensure that those sectors which, let's face it, in Guyana are not competitive, let us stop deluding ourselves that in this country we are the breadbasket of the Caribbean. It's a potential. We have never realized it, okay? We are carriers of water and hewers of wood in this country. First, we must accept what we are. We must accept that we have a paucity of skills. We must accept that we're not a knowledge-based economy. We must accept that we are an economy based on commodities. And we must also accept that we are a small village in terms of population. All of those peculiarities begs for solutions from oil revenues that are very specific and very targeted. And first and foremost among them is training. I was aghast that the Vice Chancellor was chastised by some sections of our society for having the so-called temerity to establish a school of business. And some said, well, why not a school of oil and gas? Now, it took Ms. Matai probably 7 years to get her oil and gas master's. And then several years of articling and several years of working before she becomes a legal professional. So in about 10 years, we start training a new oil and gas lawyer. They're ready to play. In about 3 years, if all goes well, we're going to have oil revenues. Do we really think we can train a cadre of Guyanese immediately who will just take up positions in the oil and gas sector? And how many Guyanese is that oil and gas sector going to train? But what is wrong with also realizing that we have poorly trained business people? What is wrong by realizing that we have poorly trained scientists, poorly trained engineers, people that are poorly trained in the tourism sector? We have to divorce ourselves from this train of thought which umbilically ties us to immediately thinking that all roads to success are paved with intentions built on oil and gas. And we have to ourselves begin to train our students, advise our children, create our businesses in ways that looks at those other sectors of the economy. And this is where policy then begins to play a very, very, very crucial role. And that's why I started off with acknowledging the work that Minister Trotman is doing. Because without policy that allows the oil revenues to be channeled in an equitable, thoughtful fashion, the capital to ensure that those sectors of our economy which are more sustainable than oil are created is not going to be wisely spent. Of course, corruption is always something which rears its head in every single oil-producing nation, including the Norways of the world, which are perhaps flaunts the best model that has worked up to now. So we will have to grapple with corruption. The way to deal with that is to have good policy backed up by some laws. That's the only way. And the only way to have policies that has buy-in is for you not to ignore that they're happening. It's for you to ensure that not only at forums like these, you go to the ministry's website, you send emails to the people that are there to receive your input, and you get involved. Very few people have panaceas on how to navigate this, but make no mistake, this is a gift. This is a huge, wonderful, wondrous gift, but we can't waste it. We must all ensure that we participate in this dialogue because, my friends, this is a very small village. This country is so small that with the advent 300-400 million years ago, the continental plates that join West Africa to this continent was ripped asunder. And in the ensuing canyons that they created, 400 million years ago, it was written in your future that the massive deposits of oil was put down on our shores. We have been a country only 40 years. We are an adolescent. But now we have this patrimony that was set 400 million years ago, and we have to ensure that we treat with it with the gravitas it deserves. Of course, these are nuclei of conversations. In 12 minutes, what can one really say? But I thank you for listening to us. I thank the panel for such a wonderful exposition from all of them, and I look forward to your questions. Thank you.
Very nicely put together. Thank you very much, Professor Suresh.